The geographic region of East Asia encompasses three subregions: Japan, North and South Korea, and China, Mongolia, and Taiwan. The late 1900s saw the reemergence of East Asia as a world political, economic, and cultural force. Nearly 1.3 billion people reside in the region's largest country, China. The province of Guangdong is on China's southern coast. This area has sustained extraordinary growth in recent decades, thriving as a base of manufacture for a global economy. Advancements in communication and transportation facilitate globalization. Containerized shipping is a cost-effective means of transporting a variety of goods. Guangdong's relative location to Hong Kong's ports and financial infrastructure is key to determining its position at the epicenter of Chinese economic development. Through Guangdong, we see the forces of globalization at work in the Pearl River Delta and beyond. Many observers argue the costs and benefits, but few dispute that globalization is the most profound reorganization of the world since the Industrial Revolution. The driving force of globalization is economic. And at the core of the global economy is the global production system. Du Nongji makes Nike shoes, one of tens of thousands of Nike employees scattered across the world. Du Nongji and his fellow workers are a small part of the Chinese link in the chain of global production.
The reason I came to work here is simply to earn a living. I came from Chengdu in Sichuan province. I didn't have much of a job back home. I've been working at the No. 2 factory for 2.5 years. I feel good about it. My ambition is to become a manager.
Most of these workers are like Du Nongji. Until the factories came, they either scratched out a living from farming or had no work at all. Now life has changed dramatically.
Although we have to work hard for 8 to 9, sometimes 10 hours a day, I still feel very happy. I live in a dormitory, but I feel as if I'm living at home.
Millions of Chinese have left their homes to work in places like Guangdong.
China has changed. It's one of the most exciting places to be doing business in the world right now.
These workers make almost 500,000 shoes a month, but Nike could have these shoes made anywhere in the world. Why did they choose to make them here? The answer lies in a mix of local and global factors. The factory is located in Guangdong province in southern China, near the capital Guangzhou, and about 100 kilometers from Hong Kong. And the proximity of Hong Kong is the key to massive foreign investment throughout Guangdong province.
People who work in the world economy, who work in the global trading system, trust Hong Kong. They know what to expect there. They know they're going to have certain guarantees if they invest money. And this is what is really driving this thing. It's that proximity to a system that they know and trust and feel very comfortable working in.
The Guangdong factory where Du Nongji works is owned by a Taiwanese company and operated jointly by Taiwanese and Chinese management.
When these entrepreneurs or investors operate from Hong Kong, these overseas Chinese, they are coming into a cultural milieu, a cultural environment where they feel quite comfortable. So the idea of native place, where someone originated from, is a very, very powerful current in Chinese culture even today.
So here, local factors such as its location relative to Hong Kong, cultural and ethnic links throughout the region, and a history of stable trade relations all contribute to Guangdong's rapid economic growth in recent decades. But just as important are the global forces exerted by the spread of global production systems. The pattern of development for global production facilities has been shaped by the drive for cheap labor.
The diffusion from Japan to South Korea to Taiwan and then subsequently to other parts of Southeast Asia is driven by seeking low-wage labor.
And the search for inexpensive labor has led companies like Nike to China. Compared with many parts of the world, such as America, Europe, or Japan, Du Nangji earns little, the equivalent of just $80 a month. However, by Chinese standards, he and his fellow workers earn a healthy wage. The changes the new industry brings to China are dramatic. By the mid-1990s, more than 500,000 factories were at work in Guangdong province. The region pulsates with development.
It is an emerging, huge growth country, very exciting. There is building going on everywhere. The whole province, the whole country basically is under construction.
Towering hotels and commercial buildings show China's ambition to play a key role on the world economic stage. In 2001, after years of negotiations, China was admitted to the World Trade Organization, cementing its role as a player in the global economy. This Nike factory, for example, fits in a chain of production that stretches around the globe. Orders for Nike footwear are placed in its headquarters in Beaverton, Oregon, in the United States. Complex communication systems allow the head office to arrange raw materials and allocate production to factories around the globe. Guangdong has virtually none of the raw materials for making shoes, but they can be imported through Hong Kong. And here in Hong Kong, we finally meet the unsung hero of the global economy, the freight container of containerized shipping. This homely steel box holds up to 60,000 pounds of raw materials, like rubber or leather, or finished goods like sneakers. And since it was invented in 1956, it has slashed shipping costs dramatically. In just the last 15 years, the cost of shipping a VCR across the Pacific was reduced by 95%, from $30 to about $1.50. Computer tracking and instant communications have also improved efficiency of the global assembly line. As these barcodes are read, Nike's main computer on the other side of the world is automatically updated. The computer tracks production supplies right to the factory floor. This leather came from Venezuela, the rubber from Malaysia. These synthetics came from Taiwan, Japan, Germany, and America. All Nike shoes made here in China are sent back through Hong Kong for export. And here the barcode reader again connects to corporate headquarters to track the delivery of the finished goods to customers around the world. Nike is able to harness low-wage structures through use of its flexible production system and with the encouragement and support of China's government. Nike doesn't own these factories. Production can be moved at very short notice. That means Nike could stop producing here if wages became too expensive. But according to Cliff Pennell, that's unlikely.
The labor force in China is huge. There are over 600 million people that work in China. Most of them are still in the agricultural sector of the economy. And there are too many. There are probably at least 100 million redundant laborers in the agricultural workforce. What to do with them? How to make them more productive? Well, one thing is you've got to enhance their mobility and allow them to go where the jobs are. And the jobs are down in places like Guangdong Province and the Pearl River Delta. New factories are building, a lot of new construction workers are needed, transportation workers are needed, factory workers are needed.
And here we can begin to see the local impact of the powerful forces at play in this globalizing economy. Migration, urbanization, cultural and social change are echoing across this region.
This is going to be one of the great human processes of change that happens anywhere in the world. This enormous flow of people out of the rural areas into the cities or the peripheral areas of the cities where these factories are, taking up these jobs.
Wherever you look at the process of globalization, you will find evidence of local change. Managing the social and political friction that such large-scale change inevitably creates is sure to be among the new century's biggest challenges. In Guangdong, we see globalization in action. It works here because of the very specific characteristics of this unique place: the province's available labor force, the transportation of containerized shipping, a communication infrastructure, the relatively stable political environment, and the relative location and cultural connections with Hong Kong. All make Guangdong a noteworthy player in the global production enterprise.